This is cabin 5824 here on the brand new Norwegian Aqua. This is located on deck 5 in the aft of the ship. We are going to enter the room here. This is an Oceanview stateroom. So there is a nice window over there, which you'll see in a minute, but wanted to show you right when you get in the door, all of the rooms on board Norwegian Aqua are equipped with this electric panel here. And this is how you're going to control the air conditioning or heat or however you want the temperature in the room controlled here. You also have your do not disturb sign and your makeup room sign, which correspond to the panel outside. So that tells the room steward what you're wanting, what you're needing in the room. You do have to have a key card or some card of some sort in here for the lights to work. If you take it out, the lights will go off. Then the main light control for the room is right here. Back behind us, we have some closets, quite a bit of closet space. Hangers are included. And more closets here with more hangers. Down below, you do have a couple of wire baskets where you can put things for storage. And this is pretty standard, the closet setup here in the Oceanview rooms, the standard balcony rooms, and the inside rooms. You're pretty much going to have the same amount of storage. More hangers there with laundry bags that are included. If you do want laundry service, they offer that. It is at an additional cost though, so you'll have to pay additional for that. There's also a safe in the room. It's the standard size, I'll say, for a safe on a cruise ship. And then 2 more wire baskets to put things over here. Now we did pass the bathroom, but before we get there, I did want to show hooks. I've never seen so many hooks on a ship before. There are 5 hooks here on the wall, so you can hang hats and jackets and things. We're going to go inside of the bathroom, and I will say I love the bathrooms on Norwegian Aqua. They're so beautiful. I think they're so spacious. I think they're some of the most spacious bathrooms at sea. The room in general, I mean, we'll look at it in a second, but I think the rooms are some of the most spacious standard rooms, meaning they're not suites or anything special, that I've seen on any cruise ship. They just do such a good job with these newer Norwegian ships. They're giving you so much space, and that's evident here in the bathroom. You have some shelves, which is pretty standard in a bathroom on a cruise ship. There is a drawer here. It took me a few days to realize this was a drawer and it opens up because I was storing stuff down here. There's some space down here to put things, but there's a drawer here, so you can put whatever you need to there. These also open, and this is where your waste basket's going to be for the room. It's right there. A very nice size sink. Of course, hand soap is included here in the dispenser. And then the shower. Let's talk about how big the showers are. Again, in the standard rooms here on board the ship. Very nice, very large shower. And the shower had something cool about it. The head on the back of it, actually, I'll just show you here. There are several different settings. See there? So you can actually have many different water jets, whatever you want to call it. From that, there's also a hook up there that you can extend and hang clothes on. And then, of course, your shampoo and body wash are included. So let's get out of the bathroom. The door does shut automatically on the bathroom. You can't, like, prop it open or hold it open. It is going to shut automatically, and it does shut with a pretty good force. So anytime you come into the bathroom, the door is going to shut pretty strongly behind you. So here we go. I was telling you how big the room is. I mean, look how big this is. This is a standard Oceanview room here on board the ship, and I think it's huge. I mean, it's pretty big for a room. You have a whole seating area over here with a sofa. This particular room only sleeps 2, so I know this does not make a bed. Back here, we have a couple of shelves and glasses. Of course, your phone, your in-room guide, which contains your room service menu and things. You have light switches over here. Let's turn that light on there. Illuminates the room pretty well. You do have a mini fridge down here. And then the drawer here that pulls out. You can store some things in here. There's a box of Kleenex in the room. There are plugs here. There's standard plug. There's USB-C. There's a standard USB. And then over here beside the couch, which the couch is very nice with the pillows, each of these lamps that you see have a USB, standard USB and USB-C port, so you can plug a lot of stuff in here. There's another electrical outlet right there. So a lot of different places to plug up your devices. You see another lamp on this table here. I like how they have this little, this little divide thing that's in here. It's really nice. I also like the paneling back there. The picture, the painting that's back there is really nice. A really cool touch. The TV in the room is right here above the little drawer, the chest of drawers, I guess we could call it. A series of drawers that are here. even some spaces on the side to store some things. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 drawers right here in this, and then the little side cubbies, which is nice. The TV is on an articulating arm, so you can pull it out there to look toward the bed. And then this is a queen size bed, or 2 twin size beds put together. They can arrange it any way that you want in the room. You just make that known on your booking, on your reservation, and they'll be able to set that up appropriately and have that ready for you here in the room. One thing that I really like are the bedside tables, of course, and more storage. You can see 2 drawers here that pull out and are pretty deep that you can put some things. And then you have space here to put, maybe a phone charger or something, because you do have an additional outlet there. These 2 buttons here, you can control the lights. So if I want to turn all the lights in the room off, I'll hit this button here, and you see we're dark. And I can hit that button there. It's like a moon, crescent moon. And then watch over there by the bathroom. Do you see that? So that's basically when you're in here at night and you need to go to the restroom, get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, you can turn that on to illuminate your way over to the bathroom in the darkness, which I thought was a neat touch. I've not seen that on a cruise ship before, so I like that. But I love these lamps. These are adjustable little reading lamps here, and you can turn each one on and off individually. There's 2 different buttons here to do that. And then on either side, there's a standard USB and then a USB-C plug. So again, plenty of outlets here in the room for you to be able to use and plug things up. And then there's a nice portrait art over here. And then another lamp over here on this bedside table. Again, more outlets to plug things up. And then, of course, the star of the show is the window here. Like I said, we are on deck 5. We are right up next to the water here. You can see pretty close to the water line, actually. So this is a great view. I'm loving this. And you can actually get a good sense of how big the waves are. For the first few days of this cruise, actually for first half of this cruise, they actually had covering up, a storm cover, because we had like 15-foot seas, 15-foot waves. So they had a storm cover up to protect the window, to protect the room. But that's not so anymore. The windows are open and you have a great view out of the ocean. We're here on deck 5, so just under deck 6, which is up where the lifeboats are. So you see there is sort of a platform up above us extending over us. But I think that's good, because if you're sailing and the sun's glaring into your room, that'll shade your room a little bit from the sun. You can actually keep the window open a little bit longer without it getting too hot in here or whatever. But what a great view that is. I love that. So this is our Oceanview stateroom here on board the Norwegian Aqua. Again, a standard Oceanview. This isn't anything special or big. The rooms are just that big here on the ship, which is really awesome. And now we are in stateroom 16176. This is a standard balcony on board, and the closets and everything are exactly the same. The bathroom are exactly the same as what we just saw in the Oceanview room. So I'm not going to go over that again, but I did want to show you this room. And you can see the space and compare that to what we saw in the Oceanview room. And I actually think that the Oceanview room has more space, and that's because, of course, the balcony is a part of this room, and so that takes up a little bit more of the inside space. It's taken away to allow room for the balcony. So if you do want a room with more space, I would say take the Oceanview room. But of course, you can't go wrong with a balcony. But you do also have a sofa here with 2 very nice pillows. Of course, the vanity over here and the stool with the vanity. This is an adjoining room, so there is another room on the other side of this door right here. You can actually open it, and their door will be closed and locked. I was actually hesitant about that, and I didn't like that I had an adjoining room or a connecting room. And I actually did not pick this stateroom. I did move up, essentially. So they assigned this room to me. I actually tried to get out of it, but there were no other staterooms available. But I will say, it was so quiet. You can't even tell that anyone else is next door. I had no issues at all. I was on here for 10 days. And it's absolutely perfect. I wouldn't hesitate on this ship. I know maybe other ships it might be different, but at least on Aqua, it's so quiet. So if you do get assigned, or if you do have to book an adjoining or connecting stateroom, no worries. It's going to be just fine, and you're not going to have a lot of noise from your neighbors. Well, hopefully not anyways. But a beautiful backdrop. You can see still the art back there. And then you also have the lamp, just like you had in the Oceanview stateroom. Now, I don't think there's as much storage space. I don't think there's as many drawers, because we're missing that chest of drawers that we saw in the Oceanview room where the TV was, the TV was above that. You don't have that in this room. So you do have 2 bedside tables, one on either side of the bed, and then only 1 lamp, whereas there were 2 lamps in the other room. Actually, 3 lamps. There was one by the bed, and 2 beside the sofa. So you only have one of the lamps over there, but you have, you know, the couple of plugs over here on the reading lamp over here to our left, and then you have a couple of plugs over there on the lamp, and then there's the standard outlet also here. So all of the, you know, knobology and the buttons and stuff are the same as what we saw in the Oceanview room. So I'll show that real quick. And then the bed, and of course it's a queen size bed, can be made into 2 twin size beds. The cruise line will always say this is a king size bed, but I really do not think it's a king size bed at all. One thing I do like about the beds, though, I will say here on the Aquas, they're so high, so you can see my suitcase is actually down there. That's like a carry-on suitcase that I have, but see how much space is still left above that? You could have a pretty large suitcase to put under there, so plenty of storage space. They don't include bed skirts, so you can always see what's under the bed, which I like because I'm always afraid I'm going to forget something under the bed. But not to fear here. I think these beds are beautiful. They're so comfortable, though. The pillows that they have, my goodness. They are the most plush pillows I think I've had on any cruise. So I've really enjoyed the bedding. This is probably the first person that ever stayed in this room, though. So that might be a reason why. But it's been so nice. I've really enjoyed the bedding. And then coming over here to this curtain that they have, I've really enjoyed this because see this cutout here? And there's space back here behind it where you can actually tuck and close it completely. See how much of the curtain I can stick in there and tuck it? This does a perfect job of blacking out the room. There's not, you know, any sunlight coming through the edge. I always hate that in a balcony stateroom. No matter how far against the wall you pull these curtains, it seems there's always some light coming through. But because this gets tucked back into the wall, perfect. I mean, there was no light coming in at all. The only light is like in the seam here. You would see like a streak of light right here. But every morning when I woke up, it was perfectly dark. It's also very long. You can see a little bit of light coming in at the bottom, but this was great. I loved this curtain so much that it's tucked back into the wall like that. And then of course you have the balcony. I will say there is the little protection lock here that you can tuck in there so the balcony door can't be opened. So if you have little ones that you don't want getting outside, make sure you lock that. But it is a sliding balcony door, which is nice because you don't have to hear your neighbors slamming theirs any. So it does roll. One thing I will say, if the ship's very rocky, if you just open the door, it's going to do that and rock back and forth. You can put it to a position where you want it. Sometimes I like to just open the door and then listen to the, you know, while I'm in the room, not even on the balcony, just in the room, I like to hear the ocean. So just open it and then pull the knob, well, if we can, pull it up here to the closed position. You can see up is closed and down is open. And then now it's not going to move, so it's not going to roll back and forth with the ship's movement. So just a little tip for you there that I learned this cruise because we had very rocky seas. But out here they have very nice furniture. I've never seen furniture so nice on a standard balcony cabin. These very nice seats here. And these very padded cushions that they have are nice. The table's nice. So very, very nice furniture out here. And I'll stand in the far corner so you can see. Not a huge balcony, but plenty of space regardless. Now we are on the 16th floor, and right above us is the 17th deck, which is where the main pool is, and the buffet. So this overhang that we have here is actually part of the buffet, the Surfside Grill. But I was really worried about that too, because I was like, oh no, I'm going to hear noise all the time. But notice how, you see how my ceiling is in the room, and then notice how much higher. You have a lot more space. I think there's a lot of padding between the 16th and 17th floor, so you don't hear anything at all in this cabin. It's been perfectly quiet. I've not heard anything, any noise at all really from my neighbors, but especially not overhead. And I was worried I was going to hear footsteps all the time, but I've not. So don't worry about getting a room on the 16th floor. You've got, again, you can see all the space. There's probably a good 3 or 4 foot right there of padding between the ceiling in your cabin and the floor up above you. But then you have this overhang, which I really like. And not all of the cabins on deck 16 have it. You just have to be here in the middle of the ship where the buffet is so that you're under it. But it shades the room very well. If the sun was shining right in, it wouldn't be shining directly into your room. You'd actually have a little bit of shading. So I have enjoyed that. And you can see the view forward there and down. Now when you look down, you are going to see deck 8 down below the Ocean Boulevard. So it's not like a direct view down to the ocean. Do know that, but still, if you're standing here looking off, you're not going to notice Ocean Boulevard at all. So if you sit, you're not going to notice it. So that's not a concern. But this has been stateroom 16176 here on board the brand new Norwegian Aqua. I highly recommend this room. I have loved being in here for 10 days. It's been so nice, so relaxing. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you go down below, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel for more cruise contents that come to the channel very soon.